Okay, this is a set of 6 stages originally by Mabs KMK. First off, I'm going to talk about sprites and sprite changes, and then I'm going to talk about composition changes. And it's going to be a bit because there's a lot to say, but I hope you bear with me and give me a chance because otherwise you're not going to know what's different. First off, like these Yoshi story sprites, I'm pretty sure Mads Kamek got them from the Spriters resource, and whoever put them together did a really bad job. Okay, like let's take this Starry Night background here. As you can see, there's this like background pattern of like this little like wavy sort of, maybe it's an indentation. For every like cloud and star, he just cut like a blue block and just pasted on top of the pattern. So on my version, I just made it a straight blue block, but I separated all the clouds and moon and stuff, and it now lays over top of them so it doesn't interfere with the pattern. And there's a similar thing in one of the other stages. Yeah, like this all came in. I needed, like, it looked pretty bad because I was going through all these sprites, and so I knew it would look way better if I and once again he just kind of chopped stuff up and put it together, the original sprite compiler. So I instead separated all these little like cardboard bushes and put them on a yeah, so now they're like a whole new patterns and resprited because it wasn't looking good until I just started respriting it. And then I put the cardboard bushes into a totally separate thing, and then I worked on all of that. And okay, so there's a lot of animations in this too. Okay, so we have like stuff like this piranha here in the original version. Now, if you watch the boundaries of the piranha, like the pixels are gonna start popping up, a bunch of straight pixels all over it. And it, it's like, it's not being consistent in its round shape. So I went and resprited all the piranha frames, so it stayed consistent. And that goes for the other animations too. Just practically every animation has like damage to it, so I went over them all. Like this ship in the original, every time like there's any type of movement, all the grain changes. I tried to make the grain more consistent in mine so it doesn't draw the eye while it's changing. And that goes for like everything. Like this ship, like this was all speckled and changing. Yeah, you can see it's like speckling like crazy, and it's like fuzzy is happening all around it, which probably shouldn't be happening. Here on the fly guy, we can even see that his propeller is not even connected. It is like just a missing dot. It just kind of like the blade doesn't go all the way back like it's supposed to. So I made sure to fix that up. Yeah, my propeller runs smooth. And I straightened the Shy Guy off at the bottom too. I think he's like just sort of vibrating. Yeah, he's got pixels popping up all over the place. Cleaned all that up, made him consistent. So yeah, he flies, he looks much cleaner. Pretty much anything that animated I did a amount of work on trying to make them consistent. Okay, so like let's look at this bird. This birds are called Goonies in the game, by the way. Yeah, he's just a mess. Yeah, he's like speckling all over the place. In the So I wanted to straighten him out. Yeah, so now like his head, you can't see his eyes here because it's blocked by the plus, but his eyes are like consistently in the same place and his beak's in the same place. I almost made all the feet consistent, but then I realized the foot is supposed to be moving up and down. Yeah, even stuff like this guy got worked on. Like I didn't want to mess with it too much because we're like worried about overcorrecting, but I did like change some pixels around to try to make it better than it was, and that goes for everything. That goes for every sprite. I gave like the big ones that are like the foreground. Oh, I'll get back to the biggest headache of this whole thing. Yeah, like stuff like this, all the elements that are making the stage, I gave many passes over, many passes, trying to get it to look right, because it was all clipped off before. Like, you see this pattern on the ground? This little, like, cardboard ridge? Yeah, you see where it's, like, clipped here? The guy who made this, he was just sort of, like, pasting things together with, like, no care of consistency. He was just, yeah, he did it like he hacked the crap out of it. But he never did a worse job than when he did the snow. The snow was my nightmare. Snow made me want to give up, even though I was already feeling the like total misery before I even got to the snow. Okay, you might have to zoom in and look closely on the monitor over here. But the original Spriter just like hacked these squares and filled up all the dead space between the sides with these like texture patterns. And he completely destroyed like what over here. That can't be the original intention here. So I don't know what he did to create them. Yeah, like over here, he didn't leave me with much at all to work with. Yeah, you can see it really good here. Like the left side is missing. Like these, it doesn't match up, so it must not be what's really supposed to be there. So he hacked the crap out of this, and you see kind of pasted the ground here. He didn't make a good pattern there. Yeah, like he hacked the crap out of it. I was gonna like give Mabs KMK a hard time, but I am absolutely positive he got this from Spriter Resource because I got so fed up I started looking for the original sprites myself instead of having to try to fix this. And I went to Spriter's Resource and it was the exact same copy. So yikes. But yeah, just he totally destroyed this. This was my misery. This was days and days and days. Yeah, I did my damnedest to try to repair the patterns and make it look better. And I went over this so many times. I tried to make it a more complicated texture pattern, but every time I did that, it just ended up looking like dirty ice cream with purple sprinkles all over it. But I actually learned a bit about like probably how to try to deal with like faking textures into existence from this. If I would have learned it faster, this stage would look even better, but I can't bear to work on this anymore. It's easily been 80 hours. It might be like 100 hours. It's crazy. I don't want to think about this stage anymore, really. Okay, I'm finally going to move on to composition changes. Okay, I'm not going to bother showing every single Mabs KMK original compared to the new one. I'm just going to use this one in the middle, HomieYoshiStory 2, as an example of like how things used to be. And I also am showing this off one because there's some absolute mistakes here in Mabs KMK's version. Okay, so Mabs KMK has this like scaling. That's why it drew my attention in the first place, because the scaling is like crazy. Everything's like super tiny. But okay, so in this copy, the original version, now if you look really closely at this piranha plant, you'll notice a few things. Okay, so there's a white line just hanging off this spike. I mean, you have to be like really looking to see it, and you're probably not paying attention to there because so many stuff is going on. But there's a white line there. Obviously, we see stray pixels popping out that weren't hidden. Like, you can see one just popping out the bottom of his head every time. But if we also look at his stock here, Mabs KMK didn't align him right, and he's actually coming up too far. He's popping out of the pipe completely. You can see like the pipe underneath him when he comes out. So like, yeah, there's dead space underneath his stock. And that applies to like all of the stocks in this stage. Yeah, they're all going way too high. Yeah, they're all popping up and like there's like 4 to 5 pixels of dead space. So yeah, like I wanted to point that out because that I had to fix that even when I'm going to do something else in a bit. Okay, so I rescaled all of these, so that's all changed, but there's changes in each stage comparatively, which I'll go through now. This is the first stage, this is the one with the snow headache. Okay, first off, there was 2 Shy Guys before, there's now just the one, because I felt them being back-to-back was kind of strange. Now we, some of the stuff got removed closer into the stage because when everything got moved around to scale, like some of the fly guys and stuff were like too far off to the left and right, and that Mini Bird was like definitely too far off to the right. Now, eventually, this this Shy Guy ship, the Pirates, flies by in the original version. I took it out of the snow version on mine, so it doesn't appear here, but it does appear in the next two. Okay, this is the cardboard planes one that we just saw. We're now behind the fence where we were before. Yeah, Mabs KMK had us walking out in the grass in the foreground. The pirate ship goes by after a bit. It comes in from the left side of the screen. You can only really see it before it goes behind the hills, so it doesn't stay there for very long. Yeah, there'll be like a fly guy that comes in from the left, or yeah, comes in from the right, flies in the left, and then the ship will come in not too long afterwards. Yeah, so you just went by. Ship should be coming by any second now. Make a liar out of me. Yeah, here it comes. Yeah, it goes left to right. But the hills block it pretty quickly. And the last of the three is this patchwork forest. Once again, there's only one Shy Guy instead of two. I thought it looked weird. And the pirate ship is also in this one, though it comes up a little higher to be in the waves. This is my favorite of the three stages, and it's also the one I had to do the least sprite work on, or least amount of sprite work on. Just a bunch of straight pixels and stuff I had to clean off the trees in the background. Didn't have to re-sprite everything from scratch. There were clouds in the file, which I think might belong in the stage, but Mabs KMK didn't put them in his version, so I didn't know where they were supposed to go, so I left them out. Yeah, here it comes. There's the pirate ship. Now, for those of you who like Mabs KMK's original scaling, but wanted to get the best, get the better sprites, I accommodated you. I have like here HomieYoshiStory 1 original, HomieYoshiStory 2 original, and HomieYoshiStory 3 original. Don't want this video to be forever, so I'll just show off that yes, indeed, these exist. I messed with the piranha plants in these because I didn't want them to have the mistake, even though everything else is how Mabs KMK had it set up. Like, we're in front of the fence again. Everything is in their original positions. There's two Shy Guys. Everything is how it was. So yeah, if you liked it how it was and you don't like my rescale, I have you covered.